I'm going to go absolutely off fucking chops here, mate. Let me tell you a story about something that happened to me today.
Ah,
I'm even going to shut down web browsers. That's how serious I'm fucking being. Like, no, look, it's just a weird story, and we've talked about it something similar before. I'm just going to go into it. I'm not going to give any real preamble. I'm just going to go straight into the story and see where it fits in so far as, you know, the Skywalker's oil lore and the way we perceive the planet around us. Because I was at the zoo today.
oh,
Sydney Taronga Zoo, yes, very lovely
nice.
day organised by somebody for my birthday, which is coming up soon. Just happened to be today that we went, and it was fucking spectacular. Let me tell you, they shouldn't call it Taronga, they should call it Taritka, because it's absolutely amazing in Sydney. Nothing fucking wrong about it. We got there very early. It opens at 9:30 or whatever. I think we're there at 9:32, just because. There was about 400 trillion school kids, though. They were absolutely fucking mental. And you know what? That's fine. Because if you can't be a school kid at a zoo,
Well,
then
yeah.
better, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's called a fucking zoo for no reason. So anyway, it was just really funny. So as I said, we got there quite early, walking around, doing the things that you do, looking at animals, looking at plants, looking at fucking whatever. About 10 o'clock, I turn around and I say, oh my God. And I said it really loudly and it just fell out of my mouth. Like it just fell out of my mouth. There was this, and this is where it's going to get rude. There was this fucking chick standing there, looked like a goddamn Ukrainian prostitute in fucking weirdest set of clothing I've ever seen. I'm going to start from the extremities and work my way up, and you'll get the end point.
Wow.
Like, calm yourself, mate. She looked like she was from the 80s before they cleaned up meth. You know, like it was just, she had these fancy ass Nike shoes on that would have been worth more than I am in fucking
Were
parts.
they like high-heeled Nikes?
No, they
No?
weren't. They were fluoro-coloured running shoes,
Ah.
as fucking bright as the day they were born. There was not a scuff mark on them, and I think if there was, she probably would have fucking become a cutter and hurt herself. It was just ridiculous. She had jeans on that would have been like $300 jeans. They were very, very fancy looking denim, which, you know, like cowboys wear denim. What the fuck? A lot of jewelry, bad makeup, like really bad, almost ochre coloured ground
Ah.
dirt makeup. Drinking the biggest Coke Zero. Like, I think if you make Coke Zero in 2 litre fucking bottles,
Something
people
wrong.
aren't really getting, you know, oh, this is good for me. It's zero. No, it's really not, man. Oriton handbag. I've described everything but the shirt. Do you want to have a guess? You're wrong. It was an NWA singlet. NWA, man.
Fuck, that tops it, man. That's bigger than our Superman t-shirt story.
Yeah, exactly. If you had guessed 100 times, you would not have got that.
No.
Not have got that. It had the famous shot of the five guys across the front. You know, everyone involved. I'm not going to go through the list because I don't know two of them, and I don't want them to feel bad if they listen.
You're not wearing this fucking t-shirt. She didn't know two of them, and that's the problem.
Mate, she didn't know they were a fucking band.
Yeah.
Like, just at 10 o'clock in the morning in a zoo, surrounded by children, running and playing and jumping and skipping and fucking eating fairy bread or whatever the hell kids do. I don't know. And I turn around and she's got this NWA shirt on, and I just thought, you are fucking kidding me. She had a face like 5 miles of bad road. Like she wasn't going to be winning any awards no matter what shirt she had. And that's fine. I'm not a good looking guy. That's fine. Like, fuck, who cares? That's not the point. The point is, we all know what the N stands for. It's not a fucking mystery. We don't Goob in the gang to go and Google that shit. We know. With attitude,
Yeah.
ends with attitude.
Yeah.
N is the only word that I actually have a real problem with because of its history. And I personally do get a little bit funny about, and I'm saying that now as a guy who uses every other fucking word going.
You've used every other word in the last
I've
5
used
minutes.
it all. Yeah, I know. And I don't want to upset Ukrainians. You're a lovely people. You're always the bad guys in video games. But fuck. Anyway, it was just, mate, it was so out of place. Like, it was so, honest to God, you know, when they do that, like, vertigo forced perspective zoom thing where they pull the camera back and zoom in and it looks all my face did that towards this shirt. It was just so ridiculous and cinematic. And I just thought, fucking hell. And we were standing at the chimpanzees looking in, and I just thought, wow, some of us are closer than others, huh? Like some of us, there's 5% difference between us and chimps. I think there's 3% difference in some of us and chimps, mate. It was just, whole picture was just as polished as you could make that turd, and then NWA singlet over the top. And I wanted to do that thing. I wanted to go up and say, what's your favourite song? Which one's your favourite guy? This, that, the other, whatever, and be a bit of a prick. But instead, I'm doing it online like a real man.
Yeah.
Just sit here and talk about it. It's not gonna... No, it was.
It's observational. It's like, I know what you're talking. I've seen that. I
was worried I was going to get shot.
Yeah, and I've seen it, and you see it in the most the zoo. Like, why are you dressed up at the zoo? You see it in the grocery stores. Yeah, it's like you see it and you're like, this isn't the place for this.
Exactly what I thought, mate. This is not, and I don't really know, apart from a music performance, concerts, whatever, where you would wear that particular, or Newtown or some area like that.
Look.
But
it's not just
with children.
Yeah. We're going to the zoo today. Hang on, I need 3 hours to prep. Like, come on.
Yeah, I mean, it would have been she was probably up from the night before, to be honest, and probably took a little while longer than 3 hours to make herself presentable. But to finish it off with that shirt, I just really, I say shirt, it was a singlet, and there was a lot of side bra action sort of going on.
It's a sort of thing is that, and because it's a general pants thing or something, right? Because you can get that T-shirt now.
Oh yeah,
when we were coming up, and that was an actual thing to listen to.
Yeah,
you couldn't get the fucking shirt.
No,
your friend who went to whose parents went to America or some shit had the shirt. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
couldn't get your hands on that stuff when we were coming up, listening to those guys, and even by the time I was listening to them, it was the individual dudes. It wasn't.
They'd all split off.
Yeah,
they'd committed crimes and.
Yeah. NWA was where they're all from. It was a bit of a thing in itself. Oh yeah, there was a super before they were all individuals.
And now, no, mate, it was really funny. It was really mind blowing. And when I was younger, somehow, I don't really know, but I was way into rap,
Yeah,
I got into real music with instruments.
Yeah.
It was Public Enemy, it was Ice-T, it was Ice Cube, Body Count, which is more of a medley rap band, but Body Count, man, they're in the fucking house, you know what I mean? What are you going to do?
Universal Soldier, mate.
Yeah, surviving the game.
Yeah.
And Ice-T in Tank Girl as well, which was embarrassing. But anyway, look, mate, it just spun me out, and I thought, please, God, please, if you're listening, transport Lorenzo here right now, because he's gonna fucking love this. This is gonna go down like, this isn't Che Guevara. This isn't The Simpsons. This isn't fucking the latest thing on the telly. This is stretching back, like we're in 2013. We're stretching back 30 years.
Yeah,
to have this, but I mean, obviously she's not. That's longer than.
That's the thing. It was a bit of in terms of Australia, that was this little very cult, this sort of these guys, they all came from.
Yeah.
And it's fucking weird that there's no reason to be wearing that other than you pick it up in general pants because they're screen printing 20 billion of them now. I don't know, and it's next to the Def Leppard one. I don't know, they just don't. There's no need for them, Yeah,
it reminds me of in The Simpsons when everyone turns into zombies. And he's like, oh, no, you killed Zombie Flanders. Oh, he was a zombie? Oh, you're wearing an NWA shirt, that rap group from the 80s. They were a rap group in the 80s? It's just got that real feel to it. Led Zeppelin the same, The Jam the same, all those other bands. Oh, MC5's a big one at the moment, who haven't been relevant in a fucking long time. But, yeah, it's just made it crack me up. But I tell you something else, and this is where my day got really interesting. This is a much shorter story because I was already stumped by what I'd seen earlier. One thing I did notice a lot of at the zoo sluts. Dead set, 100%, bits out, fucking tits, flaps, asses, the fucking works on display, man. I probably saw
lucky all
more.
the school kids were there then, because,
It's just it was so wrong on 85 levels. It was just ridiculous. It was so dumb. At one point, I was in a queue to get a drink. I thought it was like a nightclub. It was just dumb. Like it was, someone's phone was ringing and it was one of those fucking repetitive beats, whatever, dubstep or fucking whatever. And there was a group of 5 and one was dressed up like a hippie chick and one was dressed up in sort of leathery sort of clothes and one was like everyone was, it was fucking mental. And I just thought, who is this for? It's not for me, as we've established. It's not.
Nice.
I'm not allowed to look.
Sydney, fucking.
It's 23 degrees in the sun, and we were in the fucking sun all day.
Yeah.
It wasn't for guys because they weren't. Generally, these people that I'm thinking of weren't with guys. They were all in groups of girls. It wasn't for the fucking animals because, dear God, they're not that stupid. I can only think it was for each other. Like, it was only for their friends that they were dressing up like this. I'm like, well, are all your friends lesbians? Because if they're not, put your fucking box away. Like, it was just so dumb, man. I'm sorry. It was so bizarre.
It's struck a nerve, mate, because, it's, it's not, I mean, you know how to go off, but this is like, super extra.
No, mate, I was like, I get really funny. Like, a mate of mine took me to a bar a little while ago, and it was a place where there's no nudity, and they were fully clothed in terms of the law, but there was still a little bit top and bottom that you could see, and I was really uncomfortable. I was really uncomfortable because I don't really... That's not my scene. Yeah. I don't like that kind of thing thrust upon me. If I want to go and look at naked women, I'll go on the internet and I'll fucking jack off with the best of them. Don't even worry about that. But when I'm going out in public, I really don't need that. Because if I was a Nazi or if I was a fucking Buddhist, I don't think I should be forcing that into other people's faces. So if you're a fucking hussy or someone who wants to, a nudist, I don't think that's... You know what I mean?
I reckon that's an interesting point. I mean, but the uncomfortable thing is, I find that like, I got 2 quick ones on that. Like, there's a pub in fucking Erskineville. It might be Erskineville, Victoria Park, Vic on the Park.
Vic on the Park. That's I know where that is.
Yeah, is that Erskineville?
Yeah,
Marrickville, right?
Yeah. Another one. They do gigs there and stuff.
Yeah, well, they do like lingerie Fridays or some fucking shit like that, and it's the dirtiest, dodgiest pub, right? But it's kind of in a way it's got a bit of charm because it is just a fucking pub, like just truck drivers and fucking labourers and.
Oh, you got a problem with truck drivers? Yeah. Is that
and a beer garden, and it's just a very
another anti-truck driver rant from you.
No, you know what? It's just the clientele's after work guys. It's not a trendy fucking bar thing. So you go in there 7:30 on a Friday, and there's the girls are wearing lingerie, and you just feel bad. You're like, I don't want you bringing food to me or like whatever,
It's out of my fucking bangers.
But you just kind of like, here's a tip to go and put clothes on, and it's not, and they're all.
I thought the same thing.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
And it's not like they're not attractive or whatever. It's just the context. It's all fucking out of whack. You're just not. I don't know who's in like. I don't know. Because you're right. It's not like we live in a world where nudity is far away if you need it,
So you're gone are the days of waiting for the fucking Kmart catalogue to come out, mate.
Yeah.
You can type in whatever you want and you're away.
Yeah. I just find it all a bit. It's just like, what is? I mean, obviously there's some appeal and there's certain people, but do you really? And my second story, and this one was really funny, is a Bucks night years ago. and we had the topless waitresses.
Oh
Now,
no.
one of them, we had two, and one of them was, like she was probably 45 years old, fake tits,
I'm in
been
love.
doing it her whole life. She was just, but she wasn't that attractive, but she was just one of these women, and she knew what she was doing, and
She knew how to take her shirt off.
yeah,
Nice.
but she was comfortable doing that and whatever,
Yeah.
having a chat with all the 100 guys and, sort of holding
Yeah.
her own. The other girl was fucking 19 and her boyfriend dropped her off and she was this cute sort of little blonde girl and,
Yeah.
and she was uncomfortable and she was really fucking uncomfortable about it.
Yeah.
So we literally, this wasn't a fucking rugby team, like we,
Well, her boobs, like, just on the record.
they were real, but So anyway, we just literally told her at one point, look, we just want you to bring us drinks. Like, just fucking put a shirt on. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it just got to that point because you're not there to fucking. You can't. You're not comfortable if she was clearly not comfortable with it, right?
Yeah.
So we just said to her, like, don't worry, go put your shirt on, just carry drinks around. Like, this is not good. Like, we're not fucking. You know what I mean? Like.
Yeah.
Well,
it's not about that.
Yeah, it was just a thing. It was just a bit, and then the rest of everything was fine. And then she got more comfortable after that because we said that to her. You know what I mean? But you can imagine a fucking dudes who have had too much, who just want to see some tits, and this girl's not comfortable, and it gets rowdy. Like it's not a good environment.
No.
That's why I find it all a bit strange. And that's why, like I said, those girls you're talking about were probably 15 with their body parts hanging out. Probably haven't been in that fucking situation where it gets a little rowdy.
Yeah.
And how quickly things can get out of hand in those situations.
Well, the other thing is we're at the fucking zoo.
Yeah.
With a billion children.
That's that's the thing. So even that might be a thing in itself, where someone might fucking say something or whatever,
I'll say fuck in this microphone now, and I'll say cunt, and I'll say any other word that people say, and anyone who's listening to this has the option to turn it off, to not listen to this again, to write an email and complain.
Yeah.
But if you're walking around on the street, at an event, at a place, and you've got this type of stuff pushed in your face, you don't really always have the option of just leaving.
Yeah.
There were scores and scores of kids in 2 lines holding hands like you did in primary school with their little hats on and their fancy backpacks, walking past these absolute trollops of ladies, and I just thought, I say ladies, they were girls, man. They were 15 to maybe 18, maybe. And I just thought, come on, don't even. Just be, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's, like I said, I think maybe they haven't seen the other side of that. And I have, I'm sure you have, like, what can go on, and it's not, I'm not talking about fucking that serious, but just insulting, humiliating, whatever you want to call it. It's not good,
No, it's not good. Yeah. And you don't want to ever have that situation occur ever.
Yeah.
And you don't want to ever put yourself in that situation ever on that sort of plane. But on the other end of the scale, you don't want to, I thought, to be the one that's chucking that stuff out in the faces of other people, let alone children, at what is essentially a children's place. Zoo. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's
man. The zoo. It wasn't in Darling Harbour. If we were at the Rocks going to the Opera House, you go, okay, there's a couple of bars. Yeah. They're going out. They want to get rowdy. Okay. If we're at Darling Harbour at the aquarium, okay, there's a few bars. They might be on a boat. Fuck, they could be going to work in friggin' wherever. That's fine. But at the zoo in Sydney, it's
as long as it's not near anything.
No,
you're not next door to. We're going to the zoo, then we're going out. It's not like that.
Yeah, no, that's it. It's a long fucking way to get there from anywhere unless you live in that street.
Yeah.
But anyways, mate, it was really funny. Like I said, the NWA thing threw me the fuck off, got me really off balance, and then I got fucking baseball batted by these absolute tarts walking around it. Like, I just would love to say they were lovely, they were taking notes, they were polite and pleasant. They fucking weren't, mate. They were, at one point, they were smoking next to a no smoking sign and chucking rubbish on the ground. And it's like, well, who is that sign for if it's not for you? To whom does that sign instruct if it's not you? I said something about the rubbish. I said, oh, you dropped this, you might need this empty wrapper. And I handed it back. And that was as far as it went. But I mentioned at the time to the person I was with at the zoo, I couldn't mention the smoking thing at a 50% level. I would have to go 100%. I would have to absolutely blast them. I'm just so angry in several ways about this thing, and I just thought, if I start saying something about smoking around children, I'm absolutely going to fucking go spare, and I'm the prick, right?
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's the thing. You end up looking like the bad guy, you know? You can't, like, you're never going to come out. It's going to be 15-year-old girls abused by
large male humanoid creature, you know, like, and I just fuck, that's the last thing I need. I've got Hoyt's problems, man. I don't think
that's right.
So anyway, mate. So look, that was my day at the zoo. I thought I was going to go out and see, you know, animals and lions and tigers, bears. Oh my! And I did. I got a real look at life on both sides of the fence, really. And it was informative, and I just hope I didn't catch chlamydia, because let me tell you, it was a fucking possibility. I don't want to sit on a seat after those girls. Like, it was just, anyway, I probably sound sexist or misogynistic or whatever. I'm actually really not.
Oh,
and
I
that's
don't know.
why
No, you're definitely not. And I think you're not here saying it was fucking awesome. I got to see box.
Bad.
Yeah, like.
Yeah, it was bad. I'm sorry. I'm not a gynecologist for a reason, so can you please put yours away? You know, like, oh, I saw what she had for breakfast. It wasn't fucking underpants, is what it wasn't. Let me just tell you that. You know, that's a plastic chair you're squatting on. Someone's going to have to come and sit on that. Like, come on, man. Don't leave DNA on other people. That's not. Unless they ask. If they ask and they pay, that's fine. But don't. Anyways, look, that's my zoo rant. It was lovely, and everybody should go and just keep an eye out for the sluts, because really, am I allowed to say sluts? Is that a word that's not allowed to be used?
I don't think that would be. I think we've crossed that line with other words.
Oh, really? Okay.
I assume.
Okay. Just in case, just ignore the whores, okay? If that's any better, let's just move on. But anyways, mate, that was my zoo rant, and I really wanted to tell you. Hence the live Skype fucking mic thing instead of meeting up on Sunday, because I really needed to get that out. And it might have sounded not like a big deal, but it really, to me, it was
it's clear. Like I said, it struck a nerve, and I've seen it, and I think if something happened to me today like that, I'd probably be the same. Like when they happen. You focus on it, and it's the thing. Like when you see stuff like that and it bothers you, like yeah. So it'll be me next week when I go to the shops. And,
Sweet.
You know, and there's whatever, you know, like.
All right, cool. Well, I'm done on this song. If you want to the end, thanks for listening, everybody. I know that there's a billion of you out there, so I really appreciate it. And I'm sorry, I just need to get that off my chest. NWA. Good luck finding a record, but if you need a shirt, go to fucking Sports Girl.